He stared out at nothing. He faced the window, the sky the dark of night with the twinkle of stars, darker shadows of islands floating by. But he noticed none of it. The book on his lap lay unread. Fingers tapped on the arm of his chair, one after the other in a pattern, over and over. Bastian the sage was worried. Everything was in motion, the pieces moving of their own accord now. There was nothing he could do. His hands were bound. The language of the contract forbade him from directly interfering. To do so would end the deal, and he would lose. Not just himself, but everyone. The entire world. All that he had worked for would be lost. Everything that he had sacrificed would be for nothing. And here he sat, doing nothing. Not yet, at least. Soon he could act, but not yet. He had to be patient, to sit still and bide his time, which was not something he was known for. Bastian stood up quickly, the book falling to the ground. He ignored it, something he never would have done at any other time. The book was almost 1,000 years old, one of the first books ever written. The pages brittle, the spine cracked. Only his powerful magic kept it together. He walked over to the large window, looking out at the night and the islands beyond. Large and small, some dozens of miles away, others only a mile. Debris islands, so called because there was nothing of value on them, too small to create communities. Just more of the hundreds that dotted the skies of Hankarth. But here there were more, a great concentration of them, forming a maze around his home. The map was out there. Soon it would be the time when the champions would arrive, when the truth would come out. Would they judge him harshly, or see that he had no choice? He turned away from the window, stalking out of the reading room, passing the chair where the Feardach had sat not that long ago. Bastian glared at the chair, fighting the urge to launch a fireball at it, to see the chair burn. He stopped, sighing, taking a deep breath, getting control back. Leaving the room, he turned down the hallway, not sure where he was going. He just had to move. Why did he care what they would think? He had done the only thing possible. What they thought didn't matter. It only mattered that they did what was required. They had to. They had no choice. He stopped, slowing his walk, surprised to find that he did care. He knew what the people of the world thought about him. He was hated, the one who had destroyed the world, a name as feared and hated as the demon that was the Feardach. "Weak fool," he muttered, continuing his sulking. There was no reason to where he walked. He just needed to move. Just by walking, he could feel himself calming down. He was the sage. This was no proper way to act. He found himself in front of the map, Hankarth spread out across the large table, the black iron nail stuck in the center. He ignored it, looking around the map instead. The lands he had saved. Bastian smiled, focusing on one island, on one small village on the western coast, the home of a champion. Maybe there was something he could do. The room was hot, very hot. The air wavered from the heat rising from the many forges in the circular chamber. It was a large dome, the walls and ceiling made from tight-fitting blocks. An opening was at the top, ringed in more blocks of stone. About 3 feet in diameter, the opening led into shadows. Forges lined the walls, 6 in total, filled with melted metal, fires burning beneath. Chimneys climbed the curving walls, leading off from each forge and ending around the opening in the dome. The only light came from the many fires, causing flickering shadows against the walls.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.